What were your initial impressions of the Hart family?
Well, you talk about dysfunctional. If you open up the dictionary and you look for the meaning of dysfunctional family, there are pictures there. You know, it's a shame because Stu was a great guy. I didn't know Helen that well because she used to never interact with the wrestlers. But Stu was quite the guy, and he had a family that just, you know, totally dysfunctional. They fought with each other. You saw after Owen passed away, they were just, you know, at each other like, you know, crazy. It was unbelievable.
What are some of your early memories of your matches with Bret?
Bret was always a good technician. Even my later matches with him, he was always a good wrestler, a good technician. But two things that I never liked about Bret was, one is he started believing his own BS, and two is he never changed expressions. Like I said earlier, you know, he always looked the same. And to me, you saw Bret Hart. If you saw Bret Hart in one match, you saw Bret Hart. It never changed, you know.
The both of you, pretty much, we did like 3 interviews with Bret, and somehow he always manages to bring up your name and stuff like that. And he talks about some of your early matches that you wouldn't sell for him and stuff like that.
It wasn't that. It was that he would do stuff that didn't make sense. Because I used to tell guys, look, we go out there because my thing was, my character was, I was supposed to be a bad person, but it had to be believable. You had to do stuff, it was an illusion, but you had to make it look realistic, where people can believe what was going on, which is not done today, you know? And I tell them, you know, you can't be doing something that just people going to go, oh, come on. You know, you can't miss me by 10 miles with a drop kick and expect me to take a bump. That's not going to work. You kick me, you hit me with your feet, I'm going to take the bump. You know, but he'd do stuff like this, and then he'd get mad, he'd mope around and poke around. I said, man, I can't take a bump for you if you don't make a connection. And I used to tell Dynamite this. I said, once we go out on the floor, you lay those chops and those punches in, because the people are sitting right 2 feet from us. You miss me, I'm not selling.
Right.
Okay? That was no problem. Yeah.
Do you believe the allegations Dynamite Kid made in, I think it was in his book, about doing coke and drugs with Bret?
Anything that Dynamite said in the book was true. You know, they want to deny it, they want to lie about it, they all did it, and he wasn't lying, he told the truth.
About Bret doing it too?
Yeah, he told the truth.
Dynamite tells a story, I think in his book, about the altercation between you and Bret. Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, he gave me, you know, he talked about how he was in the business for 26 years and he never hurt anybody. Well, I said, I guess those 2 concussions he gave me didn't count, because he gave me 2 concussions. Okay, both times he hit me over the head. I always had a rule, never give the baby face the gimmick, because they'll kill you every time, you know?
Right.
So both times he had a chair, he crashed me over the head, and I had 2 concussions from there. So the third time, we were working in Regina again, and that used to be one of our better houses. The place was always sold out. And I had Wakamatsu, who was actually my manager, but couldn't work really. We said, well, they had Wakamatsu teamed up with me and against Bret and Dynamite Kid. And I told Bret the finish was they were going to use the kendo stick, right? I was supposed to go and pin Dynamite. He'd come in and save him by hitting me. I said, you make sure you hit me across the shoulders. Do not hit me in the head. I said, because you gave me 2 concussions already, do not hit me in the head. And I could see he was all ticked off. And in this business, you tell somebody, okay, I got an injury, you stay away from it. They're supposed to do it, right? So what does he do? He gets in the ring and he hits me right in the back of the head. I mean, this was deliberate, you know. And I just shot up. It was like somebody stuck fire up under me, and I just shot up, and I grabbed him, threw him down, and I had him by the choke, and had him by the throat, and I was actually choking him. And I know everybody could hear it in the audience. I said, you fucking asshole, I told you not to hit me in the head, you know, and I'm choking him, and he's turning all red. So then I actually let him go. He rolled out the ring, and I grabbed the kendo stick and rolled out, and I hit him from behind, and he turned around, and I swung it like a baseball bat and cracked him right between the nose. Almost knocked him cold, you know. And then I threw it down. I went back to the locker room, and I was going to get him. I said, this is it. He's going to pay tonight. And he took off. He knew he had somebody. He sent somebody in to get his bag, and I never saw him for about 2 or 3 days.
Did you guys ever try to squash your heat?
Not really. No, we got along in the WWF, you know, because I had to work with him after the WrestleMania 4. But you know, pretty much I knew keep an eye on this guy because he'll try anything, you know.
With Dynamite, you were married again to Bret. Were things any different this time around?
It was always the same. They put me with him, and they tried to figure, okay, he made a lot of money with Dynamite. Let's put him with Bret. But Bret was just difficult to deal with. You know, I'm Bret Hart. You know, I should go over every night, which I don't care. Fine, you want to go over, But if we do a program and I do something to you, you got to sell it. You know, you just can't be going out. Because they had me do a thing where I was supposed to stab him in the eye with a fork. So he was supposed to walk around with a patch on his eye. And we're going up to Edmonton, and a lot of people used to come from Edmonton because we taped on Fridays. So they would come to Edmonton, from Edmonton, to go to Calgary, watch the matches there, and then in Edmonton the next day, and they'd go back there. And they saw me stab him with this fork, right? And he's bleeding and everything, and they went, oh, I think he lost his eye, and they, you know. And next thing, my wife is driving, and he's driving in a car. He's got this girl with him, and he passed us by. And my wife said, that was Bret, and he don't have the patch on his eye, you know. Well, okay. So now, of course, he walks in the ring, he don't have the patch. So, well, half the people, they were down the night before, and they saw it, right? And he says to me, and I go to him, well, what are you doing? We wasted our time doing that. I said, we had a good thing going. Oh, let's do it again tonight. I said, I don't want to do it, you know, because this is baloney. You got to follow through with these. You just can't have it, oh, let's do it again tonight. Okay, so we did it again. Actually, the RCMP came in the locker room, they were going to arrest me. And I said, is Bret pressing charges? And they said, you're under arrest for, you mutilated Bret. These guys were like marks, you know, they were freaking out, you know, and we're gonna lock you up. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. I said, is Bret pressing charges? They go, no. I said, get the hell out the locker room. I said, we're gladiators. I said, this locker room is off limits, so you got to get out. And I kicked them out. Unbelievable.
What were your initial impressions of the Hart family?
Well, you talk about...
What's your opinion on the whole Bret Hart and getting screwed?
You know, Bret should have known. He was there the longest of anybody. He seen all the stuff Vince did to everybody. He knew that Vince will stab you in the back as quick as I could snap my finger. And also Bret knew what the business is about. And we did it all for him when we worked for his dad and he was working up there. He knew once you leave the territory, you're the champ, you drop it off to the next guy. He knew that. Don't say, well, it's my hometown and all this. Hey, I did jobs for Macho Man in my hometown in New York, Madison Square Garden. I did jobs wherever. So he knew what the rules are. You leave the territory, you drop the belt to the next guy. And then you go on about your business. So this nonsense, oh, I want to do it the next night, and all this baloney. And he knew Vince couldn't be trusted. He knew that Vince was going to figure out a way how to screw him. So why was he shocked, you know?
Do you think Bret's naive, or do you think he's just working the whole sympathy role?
I think Bret believes his own bull. You know, here's a guy that's got the replica of every belt he ever won. Who ever does that, you know? Like, Bret, get over it. I asked Davey Boy one day. I seen him, and I hadn't seen Bret in a long time. And I said, hey, Davey, how's it going with Bret? Because he was just coming back to the WWF, and he said,